Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. Welcome to today's video. Can sitting at a computer cause back pain? Thanks for your time. I appreciate you guys and I do value your time. I promise I will make it as worthwhile as possible. Computer posture can be a very boring and painful topic. I try to create content that is free of cost, open minded, relatable, and easily actionable. A quick note, the info in this presentation is not medical advice. It's based off my experience and my opinions. I talk about good habits that have helped me live a higher quality, sedentary lifestyle. Do your research, make good decisions, and be the best possible advocate you can be for your own healthcare. The specific goals of my channel are to help the user decrease pain caused by sitting at a computer. That's always going to be my number one goal. Increase energy, improve mental clarity, and increase work productivity. These are all results from improving computer posture. Quick note about me. Again, my name is Todd Bowen. I've got a degree in information technology, so I've taken classes like workstation ergonomics and user experience. I'm a lifelong athlete and exerciser, and I've lived a sedentary lifestyle for the last 20 plus years. Here's a quick look at my website. If you want to sign up for my email newsletter, I send out one email a week. You can go to sittingposture.com, enter your email right here. I just send out one email a week. I don't spam. It's usually on Fridays, and I will include the link to the article that I wrote for my website that week, as well as the links for my 2 YouTube videos that I posted to my channel that week. I post YouTube videos on Wednesday and Sunday. All right, let's get into it. Can sitting at a computer cause back pain? The answer is definitely yes. I did write an article about this on my website that goes a little bit more in depth than this video. So if you want to check that out, I'll include the link in the description of this video in the show notes. But this video basically covers all the main points, all the basic points of what is in that article. The most common work-related disability is back pain caused by sitting at a computer with poor posture. There are many reasons why this happens. All of them fall under the same category of repetitive strain injuries. To improve poor posture and decrease pain, it's important to understand what a repetitive strain injury is. Repetitive strain injuries cause pain or impairment of muscles or tendons when they have been used over and over for long periods of time. It doesn't matter if we're holding a muscle for a long period of time or if we're activating it over and over and over again for a long period of time. Both of them fall under repetitive strain and overuse injuries. Sitting at a computer with poor posture puts a huge amount of stress on our bodies. When working in the same position for 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, repetitive strain injuries become a painful, chronic work-related disability. Repetitive strain injuries are the enemy here. Sitting isn't the enemy. The position that we're working in isn't the actual enemy. So even if we improve our posture, RSIs are still a thing. If we go from sitting 40 hours per week to a standing desk 40 hours per week, repetitive strain will still cause injuries. This video is going to talk about reasons that sitting causes pain, as well as ways to improve posture and decrease that back pain. All right, let's talk about a few reasons why sitting at a computer causes back pain. Number one, slouching forward in our chair. That's an obvious one. This guy here has got a terrible forward slouch going on, also known as kyphosis, when the upper spine leans forward like this. He's got the forward head way in front of his torso. He does have some good things going on here. He's got a great slim, low-profile mouse, great slim, flat keyboard. And he's got a huge monitor, which is awesome. I don't like the angle of the monitor. This monitor should be perpendicular to the floor, so straight up and down, 90-degree angle to the floor. Maybe that's why he's leaned forward like that to look at it, because he can't see it. It's at such an angle. And his chair is not doing him any favors here. But anyway, the only thing we're talking about in this video regards to this picture is the slouching forward. And here's a better picture of, you can actually see the spine in this diagram. He's not slouching as badly, but he is definitely not taking advantage of the back support. And you can see that kyphosis in the upper spine, that forward slouching going on, and the inflammation in that spine. What that does is that compresses the front muscles, the internal rotation of the shoulder, the chest muscles. All this gets compressed in here, all this in the upper back and the shoulders gets overextended. So that's a terrible imbalance right there between the front of the spine and the back of the spine. This is very, very compressed and tight. This is very overextended and tight, so it creates a lot of muscle confusion. Reason number two, believe it or not, is a very little known fact. Sitting up too straight is also a problem that causes back pain when sitting at a computer. I don't have a picture of it sitting because this picture here is actually better to see because it's a very slight difference. You can tell the person is, at first glance generally standing up pretty straight. But if you look at that lumbar curve, that's way too much of a lumbar curve. And that's what we tend to do when we sit up too straight is our lumbar curve and our lower back is curved way too much. And we may not even realize it. I sat like that for about a year. When I corrected my slouching, I went from slouching forward to sitting up straight, and I was sitting up way too straight. And this caused a lot of issues in my lower back, a lot of overuse and overarch in that lower back. Reason number three, why sitting at a computer causes back pain. Sitting in the same position for long periods of time, even with good posture. We talked about this for a second in the beginning of this video. Even if you have good posture, you're still actively contracting the same muscles over and over and over again, whether you're holding them in that position or you're actively contracting them over and over and over multiple times. That can also cause repetitive strain injuries. So we take a look here, this is good posture, and this guy is going to feel a lot less pain than the previous guy we looked at right here. This guy is going to feel pain much quicker than a guy sitting like this right here. You can see the natural curves in the spine, the good lumbar curve right there, not too much, not the lordosis, the natural curve going up through the thoracic and cervical spine. The head is over the torso, which is good. He doesn't have that forward head going on like that guy did that was slouching. He's taking advantage of the back support of the chair, which is very good. We don't have to be leaning against the back support fully, but we do need to be taking advantage of it. We do need to be touching it and taking a little bit of the weight of our torso off of us as far as the gravity of it is concerned. So sitting in the same position for long periods of time, even with good posture, will take a toll on us. That's why it's important to work in multiple positions throughout the day, and we'll talk about that more a little bit later in this video. Here's another look, again, standing, just because sitting it's tougher to see the effects of a normal spine like this right here. You can see the slight lumbar curve here. Go right over to the lordosis, which is sitting up too straight, like we talked about earlier, way too much lumbar curve, and that has an effect up through the rest of the spine. And over here, we've got that slouching forward, which is also known as kyphosis. That upper back overextends, upper back and shoulders overextends. The chest compresses, gets really tight. The shoulders internal rotation gets really tight and really bad. So that's an example of what it looks like standing. And when we sit in these positions, we stand in these positions because we're stuck in them 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. Our body gets up to move and we're still stuck in that position, whether we're working out or walking or even laying in bed. We can still that chest can be so tight from slouching forward that we pretty much just lay down like that. And that's why we have back pain at night. We'll wake up in the morning in pain. It's because we're still stuck in that same position that we were in for 8 hours the day before. All right, now let's go over some solutions. And I'm sorry, this is the summary first. Reasons why sitting at a computer cause back pain: slouching forward in our chair, sitting up too straight, and sitting in the same position for long periods of time, even with good posture. Even though it'll cause less injury and less repetitive strain, it still will cause repetitive strain with good posture. All right, now let's go over some solutions to improve posture and decrease back pain caused by sitting at a computer. Number one, stack the spine correctly. We talked about this briefly. We already looked at this diagram. We need to get familiar with the natural curvature of the spine, the lumbar curve, how it goes forward just a little bit, then it curves back out through the thoracic region, and then up in the cervical. We need to make sure, it's very important, that that head is over our torso and not forward leaning, which would cause a lot of muscle imbalance and muscle confusion between the front and the back of the neck. Here's another look, same diagram here, but over here it's just a closer look at the spine. So this is the same angle that we're looking at it from on this diagram. You can just tell that the lower back there has got that curves back out for the thoracic region and straight up for the cervical spine. Number 2, sit with both balance and strength. Sitting at a computer shouldn't be a strength exercise. It should be more of a balancing act. I try to make the muscles in my abdomen work the same amount as my lower back muscles. For example, if one of them's tighter than the other one, then one of them's being used more and the other one's getting weaker. So one of them's compressing and the other one's overextending. And that causes a lot of muscle confusion. Another example is biceps. I talk about it often, how we should have our elbow slightly above the desk. If that elbow is below the desk, then we have to contract our bicep in order to get our hand on the keyboard and mouse, which is a bad thing. Even though it's just a slight contraction, even if we are resting our hand on the desk, if we're contracting that bicep a lot more than that tricep, that's going to cause overuse in that bicep, which would cause inflammation in the elbow or in the shoulder tendons. That bicep is connected to the shoulder by 2 tendons. And that's speaking from experience. I had a lot of issues in that until I raised my chair and raised my elbow above my desk. But that's a different topic we talk about in other videos. Let's keep going with this video. They should all be working the minimal amount required to support my torso comfortably when talking about my abdomen and my lower back. They want to work the minimum amount required, because if they're working too much, that's less energy and less strength that I have to support the rest of my body. Imagine your upper body as a tree swaying in the wind with balance. That's how I like to practice computer posture. Our torso shouldn't be tense, similar to a brick building. So you've got a tree that's strong and swaying in the wind with movement as it needs to, and then you've got a brick building, which is just straight up and down. If we hold ourselves tight in the same exact position like a brick building, that's going to cause repetitive strain injuries. All right, solution number 3, work in different positions throughout the day. I mentioned this briefly in the beginning of this video. I have an adjustable standing desk myself. It goes low enough so I can also use it as a standard office desk while sitting in a chair. I usually don't work in the same position for more than an hour. If I'm really, really creative and my mental clarity is good and I'm flowing, get a lot of work done, I might stay for a little more than an hour, but I very rarely work in the same position for more than an hour. I'll sit for an hour, stand for an hour, and in between those, I'll take a short break in between positions, and I make sure that I'm moving during those breaks. I don't just go sit somewhere else, walking or whatever. A third position I work in is sitting on a stool at my desk, so I'm still sitting. It's not as physically taxing as standing at my desk. However, it's a different variable, adds a different element of sitting in the same position all the time. If I can sit in a chair sometimes and sit in a stool sometimes, it's very helpful to decrease the risk of repetitive strain injuries in my back. So whether standing, sitting on a chair, or sitting on a stool, the top of the monitor screen height is always eye level. Basically, the top of my monitor is always eye level for me. If I go from standing to sitting, then I lower my desk as well as my monitor. I make sure that the top of the monitor height is always eye level for me. Very important variable there for good computer posture. The fourth position I work in occasionally is slightly reclined. I have the opportunity to work from home, so working on a laptop while sitting in a recliner may seem like a counterproductive work environment. However, I look at it much differently. It takes minimal muscle activation to sit in a recliner, obviously, and we've been sitting all day or standing all day, especially towards the end of the day. I like to work in a reclined position when it's just been a long day. My body's physically tired, but I still need to get a little bit of work done. It's a refreshing sitting posture to give most of my physical body, a break. We're only allowed a certain amount of energy throughout the day, whether it's physical or mental. So if we're working too hard physically to support our body, then our mental energy is going to suffer. This allows me to be more mentally focused and to get more work done while I'm in this reclined position. I just make sure that my neck is in a good position. I support my head if possible. I know it's kind of hard to do. Maybe I'll put a pillow behind my head in the recliner. And I also make sure that my eyes aren't straining to look at the screen. So I won't work in a reclined position for long. Again, an hour max. I don't work in any position for more than an hour, but it is definitely a good break on me physically and improves my mental energy. Let's take a look at a few examples of people reclined. I like this here. He looks like he's pretty supported here. The only thing with it, I probably wouldn't keep that laptop on my lap. I'd definitely have some kind of a cushion or a laptop pad in between myself and the laptop. It'll raise it up a little bit. And also, his head doesn't have anything to rest on. This isn't a recliner, but this is a reclined position. If he was in a recliner, then he'd be able to just put a pillow back there, and it would be a lot easier on his neck. As long as he's not working in this position for a long time, I'm a fan of this position. He is still looking down at a 45-degree angle to see the top of his laptop screen. But this, life isn't perfect, especially when it comes to computer posture. If it's saving the rest of our physical body, if we have to look down at a 45-degree angle to see the rest of the top of the screen for a little bit, that's no big deal for me, as long as it's not done for long periods of time over and over again. Here's another one, very similar situation going on. I like how she's very supported in her upper back. Her neck, doesn't even seem like she's looking down that much. So if she adds a way to put a pillow behind her head there, would probably help out a little bit. But I like this position as long as she's not working in it for an extended period of time. Same thing here. She's got a little bit of space between her lower back there, so I want to make sure that lumbar curve doesn't collapse towards the backrest of that chair. But other than that, she's very supported, looks comfortable, and definitely taking a break from sitting at a desk or standing at a desk. Again, looking down at the monitor screen is something to be aware of, so I wouldn't work there for too long. But it's nice to get a physical break while still getting some work done sometimes. Here's an interesting position. She doesn't have anything to support her lower back on, which, it doesn't seem to really be bothering her. She's got a decent straight up and down torso. As long as this lower back doesn't fall backwards and that lumbar curve goes away, she's in a decent spot here. She's very supported in her upper back, and she looks comfortable looking down again, so I wouldn't work there too long. But if you're tired of standing or sitting all day long, which we do, this is a good little break. All right, here's one that I don't like necessarily. She's slouched, looks like she's slouched forward and also doesn't have much support here in her lower back. So that could cause a lot of issues. That's going to cause that slouching forward, just like if we were sitting in an office chair that I talked about earlier. And then the lumbar curve could easily be lost. If I was sitting here, I would sit up a little bit, and I would also stuff a big pillow back in there as a back support. But definitely wouldn't work in this position too long. She does have something between her and the laptop, which I am a fan of. So let's go to one more position. This position I actually really like, believe it or not. She's very comfortable. Her legs are slightly activated, which I think is good. She's got them resting above this couch. Her torso is pretty straight. It's at a 45-degree angle, but it's well supported. But it's up and down, straight. Her head is even supported here. I don't know what this is. If this is just a bunch of blankets or a bunch of pillows, or if it's some kind of support, I'm not sure. But I'm a fan of it. She's even got the monitor kind of high up. This is the highest laptop monitor we've seen in the last few photos. So I like this position a lot if we have the ability to work at home, working in a reclined position. To avoid holding my body in the same position for long periods of time, I switch through these 4 positions multiple times throughout the day. Working in these 4 positions has improved my posture and decreased my back pain. All right, let's do a summary on solutions to improve posture and decrease back pain caused by sitting at a computer. Stack the spine correctly. We talked about the natural curvature of the spine. Sit with both balance and strength. It's good to see ourselves as compared to a tree that can sway in the wind, as opposed to a brick building that is very tense and tight. And finally, work in different positions throughout the day. The 4 positions that I work in are sitting in an office chair, standing at my desk, sitting at a stool, and working in a reclined position. All right, that's it for today's video. Can sitting at a computer cause back pain? Obviously, the answer is definitely yes. I hope you guys enjoyed the reasons that it causes it, as well as the solutions for it that I use. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're taking a big step forward in improving the quality of your life, and that's something to definitely be proud of. Sign up for free email updates, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if you want to. Sittingposture.com/newsletter. I only send out one email per week, usually on Fridays. That email will include a link to the article that I wrote for my website that week, as well as the 2 links to the YouTube videos that I posted to my channel that week. I post YouTube videos to my channel every Wednesday and Sunday. And if you want, you can go download a computer posture checklist that's free. This has to do with sitting at a computer, how to sit at a computer with good posture. Today I talked about 3 solutions. This checklist here goes over a 14-step process on how to sit at a computer with good posture. Go to sittingposture.com/checklist if you want to download that for free. And you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you want to find it in your browser, go to youtube.com/@sittingposture. Don't forget that @ symbol to get to my channel. One more thing, all of my content is free, and it always will be. The more people that see my videos, the more ability I have to make more content. So I want to thank you guys for watching. And if you found this video helpful, if you'd like to help me out, please hit that like button. That helps me out in a big way. That helps more people see my videos and gives me more ability to make more videos and articles. Feel free to forward this video to a friend or family member who sits at a computer full time. That's it. I really appreciate you guys for listening and watching and reading the articles on my website. I really do appreciate you guys. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. This has been Can Sitting at a Computer Cause Back Pain? Again, it's Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. Look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Take care.